I didn't expect me either.
There are a lot of problems with Mythics in Overwatch at the moment, and it doesn't help that the shop menu for it is kind of a mess. Appropriate B pointed this out to me on the Reddit post and made some intriguing suggestions for quality of life improvements. On that note, I was pleasantly surprised to see some new polish on the Mythic shop in Season 18, most notably the first item on B's wishlist. Hopefully more of these ideas will manifest in the future, but for now I've made a rough mock-up of the proposed menu changes. B was on the fence about how to handle aspects, and I honestly feel the same way. This is one idea I had, but realistically this approach can only handle 3 or 4 aspects at most. Anyway, the key point here is that Mythic skins are not as customizable as they used to be. I noticed this pattern a while ago, but my personal disappointment as a Diva main is what finally pushed me to make that Reddit post, and Sojourn's Mythic being released convinced me to make a video. Before we get to skins though, let's briefly talk about the Mythic weapons are basically fine. I only have a few changes in mind here. Increase the number of prisms we get per battle pass tier, and rework some of the flourishes. Unless Blizzard gives us more than 80 base battle pass tiers, more prisms per tier is better than sacrificing other cosmetic slots for another 10 prisms. With 15 per tier instead of 10, you'd get 120 total in a season. That's enough to unlock both a base Mythic skin and Mythic weapon, with 20 left over for an aspect or 2 standard upgrade tiers. You still wouldn't be able to fully upgrade one and buy the other unless you save up from a previous season or buy more prisms, so I don't think it's too much to ask. Just wanted to add a footnote here. Now that they're giving us 2 Mythic skins and a weapon every season, it would take 150 prisms to get the base tier of all 3, and 240 to fully upgrade them. So 120 is absolutely a reasonable amount to ask for. Also, prisms are definitely overpriced. I get why they're supposed to be more expensive than coins, but 100 times the price of coins seems a bit excessive. I know that's not exactly a fair comparison, since a Mythic skin or weapon is 50 to 80 prisms while a Legendary skin is 1900 coins, but it feels like a tactic to cover up the skin's price difference. I'll save the details for a pinned comment, but basically Legendary skin costs about $19 and a Mythic is $50 to $80. I don't think the Mythics in their current state are worth like 4 Legendaries each, especially with certain effects being limited to the Mythic weapons for no reason. It should be simple enough to let a player equip the Mythic kill effect outside of the weapon as soon as they've acquired that tier, but the Flourishes need more involved reworks. I'm sure we're all aware that the Blazing Sunsetter's Flourish is pretty much identical to the one from the Overwatch 2 launch trailer. It's obvious that non-mythic flourishes should have been a default feature for every hero a long time ago. Reinhardt, Ana, Widow, Cass, and Kiri all have flourishes that could easily be copied onto default weapons. You could replace the existing flourishes on those weapons with animations that are unique to the mythic. Soldier, Mercy, Reaper, and Orisa are excellent examples of flourishes that only work with the design of their mythic weapons. Ashe's flourish doesn't have a physical design roadblock like that, but I think it's so lead rose coated that we could keep it as is and give her something different for a default animation. It would be important to have either a toggle or a separate mythic flourish keybind option, so you can use the default flourishes on mythic weapons if you prefer. The team has already shown the ability to adjust highlight intros, victory poses, and more for specific skins.
Smells like freedom.
So I'm sure they could figure something out. In any case, it's time to move on to